Councilmember Brooke Pinto, thank you for joining us. We have a lot to cover. Let's get right to it. The emergency crime bill comes after several high-profile incidents. Of course, the killing of a former U.S. Army interpreter. Several children have been killed, and of course, a mass shooting that left 2 people shot. Talk about what immediate impacts we can see from this bill.
Sure. So we have 129 people who have died by homicide this year alone in our city. This is plaguing our communities. People have been calling out for help and intervention, and the council passed a series of emergency provisions and my piece of legislation, the Prioritizing Public Safety Amendment Act, on Tuesday that we think will make an immediate difference this summer in hopefully driving down some of the crime and violence. Some of the things it does expands the camera rebate program so that residents can access these private cameras to help in closing cases. It creates a standalone felony offense for discharging a firearm into the public, which is a major challenge we've been having. It right-sizes our pretrial detention statutes, both in our adult system and in our juvenile system, to clarify that if somebody has committed a serious crime of violence, like our carjackings, like assault with intent to kill, that a judge can hold that person pre-trial if they deem them a danger to the community. And these are just some of the things that the bill does that I'm really hopeful will assist our law enforcement partners in keeping the community safe this summer.
And Councilmember, obviously there's a lot of layers to violent crime, but it just seems like that you're optimistic that this will make a difference in the district. Talk about that.
So we know that there are a myriad of issues and challenges that have gotten us here as a city with the levels of crime we're seeing. And similarly, we're going to need a whole range of solutions to get us out of it. And I'm going to keep working on those every single day to support our young people, to make sure that we're having better mental health care in our schools, de-escalation efforts, conflict management, to make sure that on the other end of the criminal justice system, when folks are coming home after serving their sentence, that we're setting them up for success so that we don't see repeats of crime. And there's a lot of measures everywhere in between on accountability that we're working on. But I am hopeful that making sure that our law enforcement partners have the tools that they need to better close cases, that our prosecutors have the tools they need to better argue for cases, especially those that are most dangerous and most violent in our community, will help us. It's not the last step, but it is an extremely important first step in legislative changes that we need to be focused on as a city.
And Councilmember, obviously, you know, there's opponents to the bill, even members of the police union, but it just seems like that everybody wants the same thing, but maybe there's a difference of opinion and how to get there. But what is your reaction to maybe some of the opposition?
Well, it's my understanding that the police union is very supportive of this bill. So I haven't seen opposition from them. I think they, like most people, recognize that we need to do more to improve public safety. But as has become abundantly clear to me since taking on this role as the chair of the Judiciary Committee, is that everyone in our city wants to be and feel safe and deserves it. And as far as our government goes, I really believe that everyone in our government, our mayor, our attorney general, our U.S. attorney, and all of our council members are really committed to improve public safety. Sometimes we have a different avenue of how we can get there, and I'm going to keep pushing for common sense changes and improvements so that we can see these levels of crime and violence be reduced, but in a manner that tries to bring more of our colleagues along with us as we do it. I think this bill was a great example of that. I'm so appreciative for Mayor Bowser's partnership. Many of the proposals in this bill were ones that she had proposed in her legislation earlier this summer. We were able to get 12 out of 13 colleagues to vote in support of this bill. And so I'm really hoping that this momentum keeps moving us in a better direction. And that's going to be my focus this year, because what we're seeing is not acceptable. And we have to do everything we can as a government to empower our residents to live safely in their community.
And Councilmember Brooke Pinto, thank you so very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.